6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Kanus Ashraf. First, the headlines. Prime Minister will represent Pakistan at World Economic Forum beginning at Davos tomorrow. The Senate has been informed that $5 billion investment is lined up for exploitation of Thar coal. Governor Khyber Pakhtunkhwa says repatriation of temporarily displaced persons has been completed and rehabilitation process is in progress in tribal areas. All Parties Hurriyat Conference has appealed world human rights bodies to conduct a probe into incidents of mass killings in Indian-held Kashmir. Russia has accused the United States of fomenting separatism in Kurdish enclave of Afrin in Syria. In Indonesia, 100 people have died of malnutrition and diarrhea in Papua province. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi will lead Pakistan's delegation at World Economic Forum at Davos in Switzerland. The theme of the four-day event beginning tomorrow is Creating a Shared Future in a Fractured World. The meeting spread over than 400 sessions will call for leaders to work together to create a shared narrative that will improve the state of the world. In a statement, Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Maryam Aurangzeb said Pakistani delegation will highlight the country's achievements in economy, governance, strengthening of democracy, security, and war on terror over the past 4.5 years. She said there is supremacy of the Constitution and rule of law in the country, and institutions are fully empowered. The Minister of State said under the vision of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, peace has been restored because of sacrifices rendered by armed forces, police, and law enforcement agencies. She said Pakistani nation braved the menace of terrorism with fortitude. She said Pakistan decline in the incidents of terrorism is victory of Pakistan's resolve. Defense Minister Khurram Dastagir has categorically stated that Pakistan will vigorously deter enemy aggression and deliver a robust response. He was addressing officers and troops at the line of control in Chirikot, Azad Kashmir today. The minister condemned repeated and increasing targeting of civilians by India during its violation of ceasefire. He said sacrifices of our soldiers and civilians have strengthened the nation's resolve to defend its liberty at all costs. Khurram Dastagir said Pakistan will continue its political, diplomatic, and moral support to Kashmiris' just struggle for right to self-determination. The Senate has been informed that $5 billion investment is lined up for exploitation of Thar coal. Speaking on a motion in the House today, Planning Minister Ahsan Iqbal said the total energy value of Thar coal is equivalent to the total energy reservoirs of Saudi Arabia and Iran. He said Thar coal is sufficient to meet the energy requirements of the country for a long period. Ahsan Iqbal pointed out that Pakistan is currently producing 0.8% of energy from coal, while the United States is producing 30% and India 45 to 50% from these sources. President Mamnoon Hussain awarded Nishan-e-Imtiyaz military to the head of Saudi Royal Navy Vice Admiral Fahad bin Abdullah Al Ghafili in a ceremony in Islamabad today. The ceremony was attended by Saudi ambassador to Pakistan, head of Pakistan Navy, and civil and military officials. Later, the Saudi Royal Navy chief called on the president and exchanged views on matters of mutual interest. The Commander Royal Saudi Naval Forces also held a meeting with Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Zafar Mahmood Abbasi in Islamabad today. They discussed professional matters and bilateral naval collaboration. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Governor Iqbal Zafar Jhagra says repatriation process of temporarily displaced persons has been completed and now rehabilitation and developmental works are in progress in the tribal belt. Speaking at a function, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Peshawar today, he said the country has become a hub of economic zone after improvement in security situation. Member of British Parliament Sajjad Karim has welcomed the European Union's biannual report on generalized scheme of preference arrangement with Pakistan. Sajjad Karim, who chairs the South Asia Trade Monitoring Committee within the European Parliament, recognized the positive developments made by Pakistan in strengthening their human rights framework with legislative actions on the rights of women, children, minorities, and labor rights. Speaking in Brussels, Sajjad Karim said business-to-business links between the European Union and Pakistan should also be improved. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan and Tunisia have agreed to enhance bilateral cooperation in various fields, including literature, arts, and culture. The understanding was reached at a meeting between Special Assistant on National History and Literary Heritage Irfan Siddiqui and Tunisian Ambassador to Pakistan Adel Al-Arabi in Islamabad today. Irfan Siddiqui thanked Tunisian government in establishment of Ibn Khaldun Corner at National Book Foundation in Islamabad. He also appreciated the interest of the Tunisian government in educational sector of Pakistan. In occupied Kashmir, the chairman of All Parties Hurriyat Conference, Sayyid Ali Gilani, has appealed to the Amnesty International, Asia Watch, and other world human rights organizations to conduct a thorough probe into all unfortunate incidents of mass killings. In the statement, Sayyid Ali Gilani said that Indian occupational forces had left their brutal footprints in Gawakadal, Handwara, and Kupwara and other areas of the territory in the form of gruesome massacres. Meanwhile, complete shutdown will be observed in Hadwara and Kupwara on Thursday and Saturday against 1990 and 1994 massacres perpetrated by Indian Army and paramilitary forces. Bangladesh says repatriation process of Rohingya Muslim refugees to Myanmar has been postponed. In an interview, Bangladesh Refugee Relief and Rehabilitation Commissioner Abul Kalam said that repatriation process was due to start tomorrow but has been delayed due to incomplete arrangements. Earlier, Myanmar and Bangladesh have agreed to complete the voluntary repatriation of the refugees within 2 years. Russia has accused the United States of fomenting separatism in the Kurdish enclave of Afrin in Syria. RIA news agency, while quoting Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, said that the United States has been discouraging the Kurds from dialogue with the Syrian government. He said the U.S. actions in Syria are either a deliberate provocation or indicate lack of understanding of the situation by the Washington. The United States Vice President Mike Pence says that we are at the dawn of a new era of renewed discussions to achieve a peaceful resolution of Israel-Palestine conflict which affected the region. Talking to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem today, Mike Pence said Trump's declaration, which most of America's main allies beyond the Middle East criticized, provided new opportunities for Israeli-Palestinian peace. In Indonesia, at least 100 people, mostly children, have been killed due to malnutrition and diarrhea outbreak in Papua province. New Zealand beat Pakistan by 7 wickets in the first T20 of the 3-match series at Wellington today. Batting first, Pakistan scored 105 runs in 19.4 overs. New Zealand achieved the target in 15.5 overs. New Zealand lead the 3-match series 1-0. And finally, the weather report. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, light rain is expected in Quetta, Zob, Gujranwala, Lahore in Kashmir, Hazara, Rawalpindi divisions, Islamabad and Gilgit-Baltistan. Light snowfall over the hills is also expected in Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. To end the news, some of the headlines once again. Prime Minister will represent Pakistan at World Economic Forum beginning at Davos tomorrow. The Senate has been informed that $5 billion investment is lined up for exploitation of Thar coal. Governor Khyber Pakhtunkhwa says repatriation of temporarily displaced persons has been completed and rehabilitation process is in progress in tribal areas. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com Radio Pakistan News Official.